Adam Himmelsbach of the Globe has more on the latest on the Celtics, and that is the team is now for sale. Adam Himmelsbach tweeting, according to a league source, Celtics majority owner Wyc Grousbeck is looking to sell his stake in the team, as Woj reported, but this potential sale is not expected to include the entire investment group that purchased the team in 2002. So the guys who have pieces of the team don't want out. It's Wyc who wants out. Wyc is the one looking to leave. And when you say who owns the Celtics, people say Wyc.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Interesting is definitely one way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I was saying to Tim off air, to get a health scare or something, you get some bad news for the doctor. You know, I got to take care of family. I got to cash out. We got to get some things in order. I mean, I don't know what would make you want to sell this team at the point where they are now, especially what things he's said as recently as last week. And now all of a sudden it's like, you know what? I don't want my piece here. You guys, you sell my share.
Look, like we said, you're getting out when the getting's good, right? Like you're probably never going to get a higher offer than what you're going to get right now from Wyc Grousbeck. But also, if you're the owner of the Celtics, isn't right now when you want to be the owner of the Celtics?
Yeah.
Like you just started what looks like is going to be a 3 to 5 year championship window here for the Boston. Like, isn't that the whole point?
Wyc just wants to go out on top, man. He wants to do what Al Horford didn't want to do.
Yeah,
he's retiring with a trophy.
Man,
Wyc wants out.
Oh, this is deep.
So I do start thinking like best case, worst case, and I don't know what the breakdown is of the percentages.
Hey, so many of them.
But I start thinking like, well, we know he has the majority. Mm-hmm. Is it one of those things like Mark Cuban did with the Mavericks? We were just talking about that. Like Mark Cuban sold the Mavericks, but pretty much got to
stick around,
still be the owner.
Right. Yeah.
Right. He's still controlling the team. He's still running the team, but he's not the owner anymore.
Right.
He's able to do what he loves, which is be around that team and have that be the case. So that's like best case. Worst case is Fenway Sports Group, who has been rumored to want an NBA franchise, and LeBron is a part of it, is guess what? Fenway and LeBron just bought the Celtics. What? I'm sorry. Can you run that by me one more time? LeBron now owns the Celtics? Right? That's a horrible situation to be in.
Horrible. Fenway Sports Group, by the way, no second apron for the Boston Celtics if Fenway Sports Group is right. We're pairing that thing. We're
they
down.
like to run a lean program.
Drew Holiday, Derek. I know we just gave you that extension, Derek, but
Get
Grizzlick. Think about it.
Make sure we sign Grizzlick.
If you think they're not spending money,
get the Savannah Bananas to play an indoor game during the winter.
Look, if you think they weren't spending money on the Red Sox now, if they got the Celtics, they'll be a AAA team in about 6 months. But I mean, this is interesting, man. I don't even know what to think or why he would get out of this. I mean, I wouldn't say I would know why. I mean, it's billions of dollars on the line. They bought it for $300 million. They're worth $4 billion in change, and that's without a building. They're worth $4 billion. So I get it. He walks out. He gets a nice check for about $2 billion. Keeps it moving. I don't think anybody would turn that down. But man, it's out of nowhere. Just what you've heard from them and this team, this ownership group, the last few weeks and during this playoff run, and throughout that, we just gave them credit early on as being one of the more aggressive and open ownership groups in the league, in Boston, excuse me. And out of nowhere, man, they just, like you said, stuck a for sale sign out in front of the Garden. And if I'm the Bruins, I'm looking like, well, who's our next tenant? You know what I'm saying? Like, it affects everything, and it's just a weird situation. But I would love to be a fly on the wall of what's really going on behind the scenes and how the players really feel about this. Did they tell Derek White this before he signed that deal, or did they just wait? I mean, it's a tough spot, but yeah, it's wow. Celtics are for sale.
I remember a few years ago, Pags almost got out. He got in on that bid. He was going to be involved in buying the Nets. Remember that? He was going to leave the Celtics, be a part of that purchase of the Nets when they, what was the Russian guy's name?
Prokhorov.
Oh, Prokhorov.
Or Prokhorov sold the
They really
team.
don't know where he got his money from?
So he was going to be involved in that, but then didn't. So I'm curious if maybe someone else who's currently in that ownership, the ownership ranks, if you will, steps up to buy out Wyc. And
they keep it in-house.
That to me would be a good solution.
Buy me out. Yeah.
Right? Wyc is gone, but the guys who have owned the team and have participated in being an owner of the team, even in a minority role over the last 20 years, now steps up and becomes majority.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of capital to do
That's what I was just going to say. How many of those guys can cut a check for $4 billion? Right?
I don't even think all of them combined could do it. You'd have to bring in more guys to cover Wyc's piece of the pie, but man, I hope it does stay in-house because it seems like they're a great ownership group. The players, so they get along with it. Everybody's paid. Everybody was willing to spend to do whatever it took to get a championship. And you don't want them to end up with owners that's going to do the exact opposite. So hopefully it does stay with the same group of guys. And hopefully the players are cool with whoever comes in and takes over this new spot. Because you don't want these guys all of a sudden getting disgruntled or not wanting to be around no more. And now you end up with a situation where Jason Tatum is like the guy we didn't want him to be. I want out. I want this. I want that. I don't like this. I want that. Now you're hearing about these guys' names being on the trading block. But, I hope that things kind of stay the way they've been with this group.
So let's say his stake is like 60%. You don't have to come up with the full $4.7 billion that Forbes claims they're worth. You only got to come up with like $2.5 or $3 billion.
Oh, nice. All right. Good. Good. Get that on a nice.
So as long as you got that, or you got the ability to borrow that from somewhere, you got yourself a team.
Yeah, it's breaking news all over the place. This is wild. Wow.
Let me ask you this, Boston. If one of the other owners in towns wants to make a play for that piece of the team, which one do you want it to be? Do you want it to be Charlie and Jeremy Jacobs? Do you want it to be John Henry, or do you want it to be Robert Kraft?
I'm going to say Kraft, man. I'm going to have to say Kraft.
I would agree.
I think he basically would leave it alone. Not leave it alone, but I own it. I put it in my pocket. I own this ship. My name's on it, but you guys do your thing. Whereas I think the others would get to stop playing around, stop messing around. I think I'm going to have to go with Kraft.
That's right. Kraft, I think, is the right answer. It's the one guy that's actually present and feels like they are a
fan.
Actual fan.
He's a fan, right.
We've seen him kind of oversee a dynasty in the past, right? So at least he checks that box. He's not going to get in the way and sort of meddle in that stuff. You don't think. So I would say Kraft.
Good relationship with the players. Kind of takes care of his key guys. He sits courtside at Celtics games. He's always there. The players interact with him. He's cool with the younger scene.
Yeah.
Gerard and Thundercat
sitting courtside.
Those courtside seats every game.
Yeah. I can see Kraft's the only one.
And here's the other thing that's nice about the Celtics with all these other really rich guys that are in that ownership group. They are kind of a check on whoever the majority guy is.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Hey, you better not let us suck.
Yeah, right.
Right? Come on. Let's go.
Yeah, that's true.
There's some accountability there that doesn't exist with other ownership structures when you have all these minority guys.
Yeah, I think the other one, especially Henry, would look at this as purely an investment and not a dominant major franchise in pro sports, not just the NBA. He would just look at it as an investment and just treat it as such. It's like buying a new Corvette or something and just sticking it in the garage. But I think Kraft would be very involved and would be the one guy to keep it going the way it is.
These guys are tall.
Hey, look, it's a new concern you have if you're a Celtics fan that you didn't have 15 minutes ago.
How fast?
Getting a new owner in here that is like that?
If there's a bunch of billionaires in this country.
Fireworks? Is there fire?
Listen, how fast? Everybody now knows the Celtics are for sale. How fast before some of these billionaires in New England come running? I got it.
Yeah.
Some guy with $10 billion, I'll give you $5 billion right now.
Guys we don't even know about. Like
Somebody's
and
gonna
none
how
of us billionaires
fast?
of this world.
Somebody's going to pop up and say, I'll take the Celtics immediately. If somebody popped up
Well-
and took the Clippers
Let me
with
remind
no
you,
building?
Let me remind you that the last time one of the big teams in town sold was this 20 years ago. The Celtics and Red Sox were both going at the same time.
Yep,
We didn't know who Wyc was.
that's true.
We didn't know who John Henry was. We didn't know any of these names.
Yeah, it just popped up.
Because, I'm sorry, I'm just not well-versed enough in the billionaire class to know which guys are interested in buying a pro sports team at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's the thing you got to remember. Like, it's going to be a name that will pop up and you'll be like, I don't know who this guy is.
It's like, what does he do? Oh, he owns this firm that owns that firm that
Right,
controls
yes.
this and
Yeah.
that's a part of this tech company.
Yes.
Oh, and he's 26. Oh, it's like you just don't know. Now, I mean,
He's big into Bitcoin.
Yes.
Right. There's so many different type of billionaires now. It's like
Dogecoin, yeah.
He's big Doge.
to the
Yeah,
moon.
really hit it right.
I mean, it's just
Got in on GameStop at the right time.
the GameStop
Shorted the crap out of him, man.
Hey, look, somebody's gonna pop
From his
up.
basement in Brockton. Guy's a stud.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.